Tonight on Cosmic Cantina, stop the press. It happened. They finally admitted UFOs are real, off-world alien technology. Or did they? A lot of hype is being thrown around about that New York Times article that dropped last week, but is it all as exciting as it seems? We also relate this news to the 1980 Rendlesham case. Was it really aliens? Then, a brief look at black triangles has us wondering if the false flag attempt at a Project Bluebeam scenario might be on the horizon. Yikes. I'm your host, Melissa Tittle, and every week I go to my favorite bar, Cosmic Cantina, and kick back with my co-hosts, Josh Golombeski and Matt O'Connor. We talk about aliens, Bigfoot, ghosts, ancient cultures, and anything from the unseen world that needs a little illumination. Welcome to Cosmic Cantina. I'm your host, Melissa Tittle, and tonight I am drinking a classy wine from France, an organic wine called Pure. It's like a Sauvignon Blanc. It's super classy. No hangover for me, boys.
Classy. Good for you.
Well, I'm indulging in some stem cider, Colorado's own stem. Beautiful, beautiful landscape. Great place to go to grab some apps and a drink and let your kids run wild in the fields around there. Anyways, I'm drinking a pear.
We are not sponsored by Stem.
Apple cider. No, but they're awesome, and their ciders are wicked pissa. Matt, what are you drinking?
They're good stuff. I too am drinking a cider. This one's from Seattle.
What are you, 70?
Seattle cider, and it's good. It's a dry cider. It's good stuff. Anyway, that's all I have to say.
Right.
That's it.
Solid.
What do we
It's
got?
so funny how you have so many words for just saying that you're drinking a cider.
So long-winded, this one.
Speaking of so many words, guys, we have to talk about it. We just have to, because everyone else is talking about it.
Dun, 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 dun. Big news.
We have to be cool. And so let's talk about that New York Times article, everybody. Let's talk about it.
Let's do it. So much to say.
No longer in shadows. Pentagon's UFO unit will make some findings public. Did we not make these findings public like a month ago? But I digress.
Yes, we did.
Okay, so I just took some quotes from the article, and then we are wildly going to inject all of our opinions because we know you love them. Okay, so quote. Despite Pentagon's statements that it disbanded a once-coveted program to investigate unidentified flying objects, the effort remains underway, renamed and tucked inside the Office of Naval Intelligence, where officials continue to study mystifying encounters between military pilots and unidentified aerial vehicles. This is what the Times states. And they have several quotes from people. One of them is Harry Reid, who has pushed for money to go behind this program. After looking into this, I came to the conclusion that there were reports, some were substantive, some not so substantive, that there were actual materials that the government and the private sector had in their possession. The newspaper also interviewed astrophysicist Eric W. Davis, who worked as a subcontractor or consultant for the Pentagon UFO program since 2007. And Davis said, just as recent as March, when he was briefed as the Defense Department agency, he states that these are off-world vehicles not made on this Earth. What the fuck does that mean?
Oh, so much stuff. So, I mean, everything, the way this was written is just salacious as fuck. Like, it was, if you actually look into the quotes of what people said, they don't really say all that much, in my opinion, and they don't really, like that Eric Davis, everyone's kind of harping on the fact that he's like, alien technology is what we've got, and that's what's happening. But he doesn't really say that. He kind of says, he was kind of briefing the Pentagon on the possibility of it being off-world technology. And he more or less speculates.
Wait. How do you know that? How do you know that? How do you know that that's what he said? I can't see that in the article. You're saying like that's what he speculate. He wasn't actually directly speaking about off-world vehicles not made on this Earth. He was saying maybe this material that we have is from off-world.
So what he is saying is we couldn't make this ourselves. so therefore aliens. I mean, like
it's
a bit of it's a little bit of a leap.
Anybody considered China or Russia? Just thought.
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple of different options you could go to before aliens, I think, and I just think people are jumping on board the conclusion that because we don't know what it is, therefore aliens, I think is just a.
But the article never says aliens. The article is trying to get people to think aliens, right?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It's salacious as fuck because they're really pushing that theory where they don't. I mean, it's not a whole lot more information we have than last time the Navy said, yes, these videos are real. I don't know. It's just a guy who consulted for the Pentagon who says this technology that we possibly have, we couldn't make ourselves, therefore aliens. I don't know.
He never says aliens, though.
No. He just says we couldn't make it ourselves, therefore it came from off-world. Doesn't he say off-world?
He says off-world vehicles not made on this Earth. Okay, so then they don't say aliens, but every other publication picked up the alien track. For instance, there's a Vox article. I didn't pull all the quotes from it. It's called "It's Time to Take UFOs Seriously." They interview a political scientist. His name is Alexander Wendt. He's according to this article, one of the most influential political scientists alive, and he's making a case for UFOs. The number one question they ask him is, "Do you think aliens are real?" And he's like, I mean, how can you not think they're real at this point? That's kind of his thing. But he's like, are they driving the UFOs? He's like, I don't have any evidence of that. But are the UFOs real? Yes. So there's a whole nother conversation going on of what that means. But I honestly don't think we've learned anything different. It's just now that we have people that have never come out of the woodwork to say that aliens might be real are now stating that aliens might be real. Like just now?
Yeah. That's the other thing too. And Josh, I'm going to let you jump in because I know you're fucking so hard for this, and I love that.
He wants to butt probe something.
No, go on.
But here's the other thing that someone brought up. Actually, a friend of the show is Walter Bosley. Is pissing all over this right now. I love it. I love an old curmudgeon who likes to come in and piss on everyone's parade. It's good times. He wasn't really, but he was kind of saying, like, it's interesting that all these people who are like gushing over this right now are the first people gushing over the fact that the media is finally taking this seriously are also the same people who are all about like it's fake news and we can't trust the media, and all of a sudden, this fits my agenda, so they're it's good stuff now. Anyway,
I think that's not fair. There's plenty of people in between like me who you can trust some things come from the mainstream.
I'm painting with a wide brush there.
Right. Come on, come on. Don't put me in a corner.
Go on, O'Connor. Step off. All right, what do you got, Josh? What do you like about it?
No, go on with Bosley. What else did he say about this being just like not a huge moment and just not being?
I mean, I agree because I sort of brought up this similar point. Sort of Melissa is just we didn't get a whole lot more. And the conclusions that people are pulling from this article and the statements therein is not exactly what they're saying. It's kind of they're hinting at it, I guess, that this off-world trope that's being thrown around, and so people are saying therefore aliens kind of thing. But
okay, well, yeah,
I don't know. It's nothing's definite about it. And it's too easy to just jump to conclusions on it. But anyway, what do you got?
Well, when the article first hit, I read it immediately and was excited that there just was an article in the New York Times. I had the same exact attitude as you guys, like, oh, what is really new?
Really?
Yeah, I had the same attitude at first. I was like, okay. But then I kept looking at it, and I realized, like, we look at everything from, like, a 107, like a 707 standpoint, but, like, for 101 or people who don't really know much, this is a huge deal because it's in the New York Times. And one thing that it did say in there that we haven't heard yet is this new program that's being put together that they have to report on UFOs every 6 months, which is a huge deal.
Yep, that was interesting for sure. Yeah.
But they say they have to report. They literally say they have to report something, quote unquote, to the public every 6 months. I mean, you guys, do you really trust that you're going to get something really great, quote unquote?
I mean, it's all very. Yet. The language involved is all very kind of nebulous and spurious, and nothing's,
oh, come on. When has this ever happened before in the history of UFOs? Like, they're in the New York Times, like, saying, this guy's verified, talking about off-world vehicles. Like, I don't think it's worded to be sensationalistic. I mean, I think they went out of their way to make it seem like it's not from this planet, because this is part of the slow drip disclosure that is happening. This is all part of everything that's going on with Unidentified, the TV show on the History Channel, the TTSA, which is connected to this article. It's all happening slowly. I think this is just one more step, tiny step towards a bigger goal where they're going to drop a lot of information. Yes, the 6-month thing. We'll see. Are they going to give us something? Past history would say no. But the way this is going, it doesn't look that way. Like it's a different scenario now. It feels like slow drip disclosure. And of course, this is a huge deal for people who aren't into this at all. This is why I put it on Facebook. And then I immediately felt weird, like, oh God, I'm the guy who's blasting alien stuff on Facebook. But I was like, whatever.
Why do you feel weird? This is you.
I know.
You know you're on this podcast, right?
Yeah. Josh, hello.
No, I'm proud. But people for the 101 crowd, this they're like, holy shit! Like what? The New York Times is covering that we have off-world vehicles potentially, and that's what he said.
I hear what you're
this
saying.
Guy was giving briefings to the Congress. Anyways, go on.
And I get it, but history just repeats itself. You guys, in the 1800s, the whole Texas phenomenon with the aerial flying objects that nobody could identify where they came from, people were actually reporting that they could be aliens or they could be off-world beings, and people were okay with that until we started getting into a situation where we might be in war and people were afraid it was the Germans. So you guys, this isn't new. This isn't really new. And then, of course, we went through the whole 40s and 50s where there was the idea of this aerial phenomenon, and there was a group with the government that was, putting together projects and interviewing people and taking it seriously. It's just, history just keeps repeating itself. It's like, how is this going to be different? We just forgot. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't want to downplay the fact that I think it is a pretty big deal, that it's seeming like, oh, we're all now taking this seriously all of a sudden. I think that in and of itself is a big deal. But I also question not so much the timing, but just, the timing, because it feels like it's a snowballing of things. If you kind of pay attention to this kind of stuff, it feels like we're ramping up to something, and it's like it's like you were saying, Josh, it's like a slow drip release, but that drip is becoming more of a not quite a fire hose just yet, but things are sort
Murder
of building
hornets.
up. It's ramping up.
I don't know, man. It's in the public conscious now. With there's so much out there now with these articles and
true.
TV shows and everything. I feel like everyone's ready. Like the polls even show that most of the country, like over 50%, believes that there is life. It's even higher than that. It's something ridiculous. And that they have visited here, and the government knows more than they're telling. It's like something ridiculous. It's like 80%. It's like it's hiding in plain sight. Like everyone's like, all right,
I think it was like 1 in 5 last time I read something about it.
Yeah, like
1
who
in
are
5
those people? Like who are the people who are still like, nah, it's all bullshit, me. Like who are the most unfun people in the world? Like people who don't believe in Bigfoot.
Whoever they are, just don't hang out with them.
You know what?
Warning
if you don't
to anybody
believe
listening.
in Bigfoot, fuck you.
No, you don't have to believe. Just if you're willing to entertain the idea of Bigfoot, I'm cool with you. But
I like that.
Hardcore, no. Like, I'm sorry, we can't have beers, bro.
We can't hang.
You can't hang with Josh. Sorry. It's out. You're out, buddy. I wanted to actually bring up something. I mean, are you guys done bitching about this, or should we keep going, or how do you feel? Are we good?
Let's push on. Let's push on. I think we could hop on this for a long time, but
We could.
What do we got?
We don't want to bore you. So I want to bring up an incident that happened in 1980, the Rendlesham Forest incident. If you're not familiar with this incident, it involves a U.S. government base in the U.K. 1980, this is the Cold War. We operated 2 bases in the U.K., and there was a situation that happened on the base where a bunch of soldiers were involved, and they witnessed a craft, and it's the same situation. Maybe it's real, maybe it's not real. And the reason I bring this up in connection to the New York Times article is that